Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the confusing world of corporate finance. And boy, do we have a move to decode today. Alpha Modus Holdings Inc. has just made a significant shift, moving their stock and warrants from the Nasdaq Global Market to the Nasdaq Capital Market. This isn't just a fancy address change, it's a direct response to some serious listing requirements they weren't meeting. Specifically, Alpha Modus was facing issues with two major Nasdaq listing rules. The first was related to the market value of publicly held shares, meaning the total value of shares available for trading by the public was too low. The second issue was with the market value of listed securities, which essentially means the total value of all their securities trading on the exchange was also falling short. They received notices about these problems back in January and February of 2025, and this move to the capital market seems to be their solution to get back in compliance. Now let's talk about what's actually trading. Alpha Modus has Class A common stock trading under the symbol AMOD. Both of these are now listed on the Nasdaq Capital Market. Remember, those warrants are exercisable for one share of Class A common stock at an exercise price of 11.50 cents. This filing also flags Alpha Modus as an emerging growth company. This means they are a smaller company and are allowed to use some relaxed reporting rules, giving them a bit more breathing room as they grow. They haven't elected to use the extended transition period for new or updated financial accounting standards, so they'll be keeping pace with the latest accounting rules. Looking at the executive sign-off, it seems William Alessi, the President and Chief Executive Officer, has signed off on this report, dated July 14, 2025. This all points to a company actively managing its compliance and its presence on the public markets. So what's the story here? Alpha Modus Holdings faced potential delisting due to low market value of its shares, a common hurdle for companies that might be experiencing growth pains or investor uncertainty. By moving to the Nasdaq Capital Market, they are essentially stepping down to a market tier that has less stringent quantitative listing requirements. This buys them time and stability to focus on improving their business fundamentals without the immediate threat of being kicked off the exchange. It's a strategic move, but it also signals that achieving the higher standards of the global market is still a work in progress for the company. Now my take on this Alpha Modus is clearly facing the realities of being a smaller publicly traded company. This move to the Nasdaq Capital Market is a smart survival tactic. It's like a smaller business moving to a less expensive retail location to manage overhead while they build their customer base. The real question for investors is whether they can leverage this breathing room to actually grow their market value and eventually graduate back to the global market or even higher. The risk here is that they might get comfortable in the capital market and never reach the same scale as companies on the global market, which can impact investor perception and access to capital down the line. However, the opportunity is clear. They have a chance to prove their business model and rebuild investor confidence without the immediate pressure of delisting. Alright, that's our breakdown of Alpha Modus Holdings' latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.